Good morning, good evening, good night, and welcome to Pat's on Your Crown podcast. And I'm your host, Patty J. I'm excited to introduce Lexi, a creative force behind Wagwan Dance Hall, a platform that keeps us connected in Jamaicans' culture and their current events. We've known each other since elementary school, and we're going to talk about what it's like to be Caribbean. We're going to talk about Jamaica, the other islands, all of those good things. Not only that, she's also a mother, and I want to highlight that as well. And she also balances having Wagwan Dance Hall and being a mom. So we're going to talk about it. So I like to start off my podcast with Thorns and Roses. You know, basically the thorn is something negative that happened in your week, and the rose is something positive. So you give us one for each.
What's the positive? The positive, it was my godson's birthday. He turned 2. And we celebrated that on Saturday. And the thorn. Damn, the thorn. I don't even know.
Well, if you don't have any thorns, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, life just be lifing. So I don't even be thinking about the negatives, honestly.
I think eggs being almost $12 is the thorn in everybody.
You know, I still went out and bought my eggs. I was just like, I mean, I gotta eat.
Screw it.
It's whatever.
It is what it is.
I'm not buying them from BJ's for $32. Absolutely not. But I will buy the little carton from Shopify.
$32 in BJ's?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
We're not doing that.
But I'm gonna buy it though.
That's ghetto. But I'm gonna give you a thorn and I'm gonna give you a rose. Thorn for me was I kept procrastinating this week. I'm not gonna lie. Procrastination was killing me this week. A lot of the things I kept putting it off for the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. That's something I feel like will forever be a thorn for me that I have to continue to work on.
Right.
But on a positive note, a rose. I went for a walk with my daughter's friend today. It was really fun. We went, through the wilderness. All that good stuff. It was really good. But now let's dive into the questions. So, what inspired you to create Wagwan Dance Hall?
I knew this question was gonna come. Frustration.
Really?
That sounds crazy, but yeah, any idea that I think of is from a frustrated place. I did not see any creatives, I guess you could say, like me. Before I started Wagwan Dance Hall, I was kind of like dipping into everything. So I was doing hosting when I was at college. I like kind of did some comedy stuff because like I'm a naturally funny girl.
You definitely are.
But that wasn't my niche. Like that's just me as a person. But I've always loved dance hall. Like from a child, like it's always been my thing. And honestly, I was just like one day I'm like, I'm gonna just create something. I was working like behind the scenes with this, I guess you could say like this company, whatever, and they were doing their own Caribbean thing. Shout out to them. And actually, I'm lying. No, I didn't start with them. Actually, no, I don't really know. I just started doing it. Like I just started like having commentary, and then I was like, you know what? Let me just start something. This is before the whole podcast thing, before like it got like a bigger like platform. And then I want to say the September I thought about it. October I like solidify it, and then by November 2nd it was born. That was it. Like, but it was just not seeing a lot of people like myself, not seeing any women. Like it was very male dominated. The closest thing that I've seen was The Fix. They used to go by Nightly Fix on in Jamaica, I guess you could say. And I used to watch them all the time. I'm like, damn, like this is mad good. But I'm like, where's like the American version to this? Because we're all
That's
here
true.
too.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
There was none of us doing anything. So I'm like, let me just start it. And that was it. Like that's just where I'm at now. And it did a lot for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like it brought me a lot of places. I did it by myself. Nobody did not help me. I had help along the way, don't get me wrong, but like initially starting it was all on me. Like all I had was my phone, a cardboard, like those trifolds I use for a presentation. I had like a pop socket on the back of my phone, holding it up, and I was using like my living room lights, like the 3 lights, and that was it. And that's all I started with.
That's all you need when you start something. That's definitely all you need.
Now, like I'm venturing off into different things. Obviously, I stopped for a little bit, but it was fun. Like I loved it, but life just got life in. That's it.
That's how it is. But it's good that you even pushed yourself to get as far as you got.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot. Like I would definitely say, but it was it still is a fun journey. Like I'm still doing things behind the scene. But it was really it started off kind of crazy, but like a good crazy, like and a lot of people started liking to it. At one point I was like, I'm done with this, I don't want to do it anymore. And like that's when it like catapulted. Like everybody was like, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm like, y'all really like me?
Of course. course. Like
even I'm this now.
I'm not even Jamaican and I was in tune. I was like
and like, that's the thing. Like what made more of a difference to me was the people who would like reach out to me that I don't even talk to. They're like, when are you gonna make another video? I'm like, well, let me go get that camera.
Dust off the laptop.
Yeah, like let's get it started. And that's the crazy thing. I wasn't even editing on a laptop. What? Everything was from my phone. I was recording on my phone. Wow. I was taking notes on my phone. Like, I don't think people understand. I was literally memorizing this stuff, like, for the whole week. And then I would sit down, like, I was working, like, 2 part-time jobs. In between that job, when I went from the morning one, the evening time, I had, like, an hour break. I would go home, memorize everything for that week, and then just speak it. I had no paper. Wow. I had, like, a notebook, but, like, I couldn't read the notebook in front of me. So everything was, like, straight off the dome. Like, a lot of people don't know that.
And that takes a lot because I myself don't memorize.
I can't remember nothing.
I cannot memorize.
I was stuttering, tripping over my words. Like,
that's so much pressure on yourself.
And literally, I would make the video. Let's say I make the video at 4 p.m. Mm-hmm. I will edit it by 6 to drop it by 7. That same day. Mind you, I'm at work doing all these things. But I'm like, when I'm determined, I'm going to do it. But yeah, and it brought me a lot of places. I met a lot of people, met a lot of like celebrities. Let me not say celebrities, but like a lot of like influencing people. I got a radio show out of it with K-Flash, pick up her. It brought me a lot of places, like a lot of rooms that I didn't even get into. People still speak about me to this day. Wow. And yeah.
Well, we're gonna put the battery in your back that we.
I know.
Listen,
I'm trying. Is the
we're gonna be on her behind. Remember this conversation. Remember this day. Let's be on her behind. Let's brighten her comments.
I know. It's just for me. It's like I want to do it, but I'm a person where if I'm gonna do something, it got to be my all. Like I'm not halfway doing it. We can curse on here.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta put I'm not putting no halfway thing. Like I'm not half-assing. I'm putting it all the way in. And after having a kid, like not even before I want to say the pandemic is really what like stopped everything. Like the radio show I was on, we were still doing it remotely, but it was like, it wasn't the same. Like, and a lot of things just changed. Like the culture when I was doing the showcases, like the people weren't doing it anymore and all that other stuff. So it kind of just like downfalled a little bit, but I started to do it again, but I just felt like it was forced. Like I didn't feel natural anymore. So it's like, now I'm at a space where I'm trying to find that same drive again, but it's like, I want to reinvent it and be like more like adult. Like I started that when I was 20, I think like 23, if I'm not mistaken.
So you wanted, appeal to more of a mature crowd. Basically.
Yeah. Like I still want to show people like, this is dance hall. And this is the thing that my main focus is that I want people who are living here, people who are not Jamaican, not Caribbean, understand what's going on because people are interested. But one of the things I noticed that even like as artists, and I always tell them, like the people that I speak with, you got to make things that everybody can understand.
That's true.
Because I can understand everything Jamaican, everything Caribbean.
Because Caribbean people understand Caribbean people.
So, but I can't tell that to Sally, Billy, and John.
They're not going to understand.
They want to understand me. They're like,
they want to know tea.
And they're interested. Like a lot of cultures are interested in. But if we're not, and I don't want to say speaking because the language is not hard to understand. But if we're not trying to market it out there where everybody can understand, then at that point it's just in a little bubble and nobody's not understanding it. So
yeah, true.
I try to like keep on that, and I try to keep it very unbiased. I don't want it to seem like it's my opinion because I do have an opinion. Some of the stuff that I speak about I do not agree with, but I'm not there to speak my opinion. I'm there to
keep you informed.
Keep you informed. Some of the stuff, like some things I choose not to speak about because I'm just like, this is like clickbait. Yeah. And that's what carried me a lot because a lot of things that I was speaking about was never like a clickbait moment kind of situation.
It was real.
Everything was real. Everything and even if it was real, I would always say allegedly and all this other stuff. So that's really what it is. But that's my baby. Like we like probably like 7 years in, I think. I don't even remember at this point, but it's taken me a lot of places. And it's still, and the thing that I like is that I was so genuine to it that it's still taking me places even when I'm not doing anything. And that's what really means a lot to me because I'm just like, wow, like I really put my all into this and it's really taking me places regardless if there's a video or if I'm posting or anything like that. So
what was your most viral moment?
I don't think I really had a viral moment. I think it was more so like just collectively everybody was just enjoying it. My most memorable moment was when Vice Cartel commented on my video.
What?
What a heart.
And what's funny? My next question, we're gonna talk about him.
Really?
So let's go into that. Because I noticed that you was at his concert.
I definitely was.
Everybody was making the memes, making the jokes, talking about the prices. First off, what was the price? If you don't mind letting us know.
The price was it was steep. Like my ticket was $400, but I didn't really care because at the end of the day, dancehall, like, and I just want to put out there, I don't get paid to do none of this. I do this for free. And that's because I love it. Like, I have a job. So this is nothing to me. Like, this is just fun. But when I bought my ticket, it was $400. It went up to like $500. And I went in the infield.
That's when you're at the bottom, like in front of with everybody.
Yeah, so they had like the bleachers, and they had like this little circle pod when people spent like $1,500. I was not spending.
So when I was on Instagram seeing $1,300 tickets, that was a myth.
No, there really was $1,500 tickets, I think. Okay. Maybe it was $1,200, but that was the pods where like it's like tickets included and alcohol and other stuff.
Okay.
I honestly, I was never gonna pay for that, but it was okay for people that wanted to have their own little section, but I wanted to be in the crowd. Like, I'm a fan first. So this had nothing to do with Wagwan Dancehall. This was just me being, and if you know me from 2009, I've been like a Gaza fan from then, like Gaza Girl X, all the way down. In high school, they knew me as Gaza Japanese Princess. Like, that was just me. So this was like a fan moment. I had none, like no business stuff. If business came out of it, it would have been great.
Yeah.
But I bought my ticket for $400. I wasn't even gonna go.
Why?
That's crazy part. I wasn't gonna go because the ticket was too high. The plane ticket, it was like.
To be honest, I don't think $400 is too bad for Vybz Kartel. No, that's just me being biased because I like Vybz Kartel.
No, the actual ticket, the concert ticket was $400, and I was okay with that. I'm like,
of course,
$1,000. I was buying it, but the plane ticket was like $1,200.
But you know why? Because the concert, that's what they did. They
hyped it up, and I was just like, I'm not paying that much money to go see him. Like, I just felt like that was like OD because I still had to stay somewhere. I still had to feed myself, and like, I got a job, but who said I want to spend more money on that? But you see, God is so funny because the week before the concert, I was still debating about it. I already said I'm not going. Also, the person I was going to go with, she couldn't go anymore. And I just couldn't find nobody to go with. So I want to say 2 weeks prior to that, I was selling my ticket. And my cousin reached out to me, was like, all right, I know somebody's going to buy it. They're going to get back to me. And I'm like, all right, like, it is what it is. Just take it. And I was so sad. Like, ask anybody. I was so sad because I'm like, damn, like, I really, really, really wanted to see him. That Monday, shout out to Nightly Fix, or The Fix, I should say, they have posted his interview. And I was like, are you really not gonna go see this man? Like, and I know for some people it's like, it's just Vybz Kartel. But it's like, when you're a fan of like music and an artist, like, you really go to deep. It's like the Beyonce fans, like the Beehive, like, they be doing a little too much. But in the same breath, like, I understand it because that's what you like. So I watched the interview. It was like a Monday night. And I was like, you know what? Let me check the flights. Let me see what it is. That flight was $700.
I know you grabbed it before.
Let me tell you something.
Let me go ahead and grab that.
I said, and I didn't. I said, you know what? I still needed somewhere to stay, and I still needed somebody to go with. I just didn't want to go by myself. So I reached out to one of my cousins, and he was like, you could stay with me. He's like, I'm like 10 minutes away.
That's perfect. Like, okay. So it worked out.
So then I called my other cousin. I'm like, hey, girl, like, you want to come with me? I have an extra ticket. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I know you lying.
So it all worked out for you?
It literally worked out. The next morning I woke up, I said, if the price is still the same, I'm gonna buy it. Woke up the next morning, the price was still the same, and everything. And this was the week before the concert, like that Tuesday.
That's shocking that it was,
that everything just laid out. And I got there the morning of the concert, like 8 a.m. And it was like almost perfect. I would say, now that I think about it, it was perfect how everything aligned together. Like, and I was only here for 2 days.
Now, how was the concert? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite?
Oh, God, like...
Was there even a least favorite?
I don't even think so, because honestly, like, I got my ticket $400, but I was not where I was supposed to be. Like,
what you mean?
I was all the way at the front of the stage, because that's exactly where I was going to be. Like, are you crazy? You think I came this far?
I'm going to the front.
I was right to the front, like, and it was like... I don't want to drag it, but like, it was like a God's path. Like, I was standing in the stadium, and I'm just like sitting here. I'm like, I'm not standing here. Like, this is too far for me. I had my contacts in, but I'm just like, no, I'm not standing here. So I'm walking around with my cousin, and I'm like, we're gonna go to the front. She's like, how are we gonna do that? I was like, I don't know yet. We're gonna figure it out.
I would have done the same thing.
Like, and I was about to buy a drink, and the drink was like a little bit expensive in my liking. And I was like, I'm not buying this. I'm like, I'm going to the front. There was like a gate, and it was like the gate's supposed to be crossed off, and there's supposed to be people standing there. It's like God told me walk there. I walked there, me and my cousin, and like I like took my wristband, and like nobody don't sue me for this, but I tucked it underneath so nobody don't see like where I'm at, because everybody's wristband had where they was at.
Yeah.
I tucked it in. I was like, let's just keep walking and see where we're going to go. When I turned around, I want to say like less than 5 seconds later, like they were like cutting people off. No, you can't go there. You can't go there. And I said, I know you fucking lying. Like
I would have kept on walking.
I kept walking. I was like, I belong here. So
you got to be confident. Like you got to
you got to be confident. Like if you scared money don't make no money. Exactly. So you got to do what you got to do. But I walked in and I'm like, oh, so this is where the media and the other people are. And I'm seeing all types of people there. But I'm trying to be discreet because I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. I went to the bar. I'm like, oh, let me get a drink. She's like, oh, it's complimentary. You don't got to buy it. I said, look at God. What? I was about to spend money on a drink. And then I got even closer, like where the media was. That's how it was like direct. Like I seen him like coming out that stage and I was like screaming. And I was just like it was like a surreal moment. Like watching him come out was like, I don't even know. Like, it was just like, if you're a fan of anything, like that moment, like finally, like I've been waiting this long to see it. And I was just screaming mad hard. I was jumping. Like, if there was a camera on me, like I was jumping mad hard. Like, I know the grounds felt me going crazy. And it was great. The whole thing was great.
How was his energy?
His energy was good. Like, despite it all, like, I don't know why people thought this man was not going to perform well. Like, Gaza for life.
I think it's because they probably feel like he was in jail for a very long time. He's having health issues. They probably assumed that would take a toll on his body and he wouldn't be able to. But anybody who knows Vybz Kartel know he be doing the most.
Exactly. So my thing is like,
I wouldn't have been surprised.
I had no doubts that he was gonna fail because I'm just like, when you want something so bad, like you want it to be out for so bad, it don't matter how your health. When that adrenaline hits your body,
of course,
it don't. Like when he came out, he didn't say a word. And the crowd, like, I'm like getting goosebumps because it was like we were screaming, like it was like Michael Jackson, and everybody was just yelling, and it's so funny because that's what he said.
I was just about to say.
That's how he wanted it to be. And I was screaming, like when I mean screaming, like hollering on top of my lungs. Not even when I give birth, I was screaming out loud. Like I was really like, wow. It was so crazy. Every song he was singing, like word for word. There were songs I didn't even remember. And I was like word for word for word. Like, I'm really a fan. Gaza for life. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, but it was amazing. Like,
so then the next question I'm asking you gonna be biased then, because I was gonna ask you as a Jamaican, who you think is the baddest male artist?
Vybz Kartel. Why would you ask me such a question?
Because I'm not Jamaican, so I did my research, and according to my research, Beenie Man they do claim as the actual king of dancehall because of all the things he has, his accolades, his catalog, all of those things. But because Vybz Kartel is more popular. People it's like a battle between who they believe is the baddest and who's not.
So for me, I feel like there's an era for everything. Because once upon a time, Yellow Man, he still is the king of dancehall. Once you're a king, you're always a king. That's never going to change. But there's always a new king that comes about. So when that argument comes in, for me is like, I wasn't around when Yellow Man and them was going in and being king of dancehall. But does that discredit him for who he is?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Beenie Man, I feel like he is the king of dancehall. He did do his thing. But Vybz Kartel is now the king of dancehall. Like, when you see Queen Elizabeth and King Charles, there was people behind them. And they still give them their respect because during that time, that's who was the reigning king or queen. So to say that one is not, or you have to dethrone the other, you don't have to necessarily dethrone, but in this case,
it's multiple.
Like, and I don't
for each era.
Like there's so many, like, and sooner or later, Vybz Kartel is not going to be that top person anymore.
And I'm not gonna lie, when I did that research and found that out, I was shocked that they deemed him king of dancehall because I think the same. I'm not Jamaican, but from the outside looking in, knowing I love Jamaican music, Vybz Kartel is who I would have thought too.
I think fan favorite. I think
him and Spice. It's like him and Spice, literally. Their music, they're coming together.
Yeah, like you can't deny the fact that this man has not, like, any young artist, at least 90% of them in the Caribbean culture will say Vybz Kartel is their leading
Popcorn,
person.
all of them.
Like, even like the younger generation, they rate him too. Even Shenseea, when she was at the Grammys, she said one of her favorite artists is Vybz Kartel. Like, and she's in her own category. So my thing is, like, to say that, and it's no discredit to Beenie Man, because Beenie Man is Beenie Man.
He is who he is.
He literally popularized a lot of dancehall music. Him, the Sean Pauls, the Shaggies, the Bounty Killers, the Lady Saw. We can't deny that these people did not pave the way. Like, they're giants. And like Vybz Kartel said, like, he stood on their shoulders. And now he's the giant and somebody else has to stand on their shoulder.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. But also, like, even growing up, like, I remember, because I had to write this one down, I remember the excitement that came from the lyrical exchanges, like the clashing. That right there, we used to live for that.
That was.
Do you think that the artists doing all of that, do you think that was like a impactful thing within their music and the genres of dancehall?
Let me tell you something. Hip hop, there wouldn't be no war or anything that they do. I'm not saying that dancehall is the ultimate reason, but let's be for real. DJ Hirik or Hurik, I mean, I don't know if I'm pronouncing him, but he is Jamaican. Like the guy who basically founded hip hop is Jamaican.
Oh wow!
So it's like we can't discredit what's already there.
And Clashing hit so hard that people would be in class arguing about it.
Literally,
Gaza versus Gully was a thing.
A time.
Yo, it was
time to be
argument. It was an argument. Like, literally, I remember
waiting on YouTube to see who's gonna drop what. And the thing is, like, it was so, and this is why, like, the Movados, well, not even just the Movado, Vybz Kartel, you gotta give them their crown because they were carrying it. Like, nobody was busting during that time. Nobody was becoming these new artists. It was like a standstill because it was like, which side are you on?
You gotta pick a side.
Granted, it got too hectic where like they really had to like calm it down. But like that was a time where everybody knew that this was it. So to say like, you know, clashing is this and that, like clashing is a part of the culture. They still have like the Red Bull Culture Clash. What I think Spice says she's going to be there, I think next month or something like that in England. Okay. This is a big thing. Like they still do it. Like it's something that even like with Jada Kingdom and Stefflon Don, like regardless of what it was about, like this is what creates the music. This is what get people hype. So it was like to say that clashing doesn't really do much. It does a lot.
It does.
Look at Versus. Versus, like, the biggest verses that everybody knew about that brought it to the next level was Bounty and Beanie. Yep. Like, let's be real. Before they had them big stages.
The memes alone.
Let me tell you, me with my belly just up in our clothes, mesh marina in my living room, connecting the laptop to the TV.
And not only that, like, I feel like clashing is also important to the Caribbean culture all in itself, not just Jamaicans. Yeah. Like, no lie, I'm from the Virgin Islands and I'm also from St. Kitts. I'm involved I be on all the mix-ups too. Every Caribbean island comes together for those things.
Literally, it's a thing. Even when they do like DJing clashes where they're just dropping dub plates, people like nobody's performing. You're just hearing music, but it's like that's what really brings it together because you want to see. It's more of an artistry thing. Like it's not just about and
you really lyric. You going word for word, lyric for lyric. Like you got to really show like you got the lyrics. If you don't got it,
anything. It's like when they do those underground rap battles, like. Yeah, like half of the stuff y'all saying is probably like just whatever, but it's it gets the people going.
My thing is with dancehall, they really be saying some shit to where you want to fight. Like
I'll
be like, first off, let's talk about how Vybz Kartel kept throwing a lot of. I don't even know if we can say this on my platform. We're gonna have to blur that one out. Probably. He was throwing a lot of the rainbow.
Yeah.
And it was like, he got like, one day, I decided to sit at home and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just out of curiosity go on YouTube and type in how many Vybz Kartel songs have rainbow in it. Damn near 11. I found 11 of them.
That's probably not even close. That's what you could find out.
I found 11.
Because remember, back then, before they started censorizing a bunch of stuff, it was just out in the open. Like, I remember this one particular one, and I don't even know if Vybz Kartel wants to remember this himself, but I think it was his diss record about Bounty Killer, and he called him like a paper towel. I'm not gonna talk about it, but that, I know that, first of all, word for word, but just listening to it now that I'm older, mind you, this was like 15 years ago, I'm like,
to hear how disrespectful that? Like back then we're like hyping it up, but as an adult to listen back to the music, like, yo,
even when like,
I would want to fight, you would have to catch me outside
because it's like no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like there's certain things, there's certain places that you can't touch, and when it comes to clashing, that's the thing. You gotta have thick skin because they're gonna touch on any single thing, and there's nothing you can do.
You know what clash got me tight? I'm not gonna lie. Lady Saw versus Spice. Now, what got me mad about that one is when Lady Saw decided to become a Christian. It got me so mad. Like, girl, you can't just stop like that. I understand, but Miss come Marion on, Hall. You can't just stop like that.
She's an interesting individual. Praise her. You know, that's all I'm saying. Like, but the thing is, I feel like if there was a lyrical clash, I feel like. I know it's different generations, but I feel like the most lyrical person that could probably stand up to Spice is probably Lady Saw.
Absolutely.
In my deepest opinion. Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie, I love Lisa Hyper, whatever she wants to go by. But when Spice Lego that piece of diss track, I said, oh my God. I said, you can't come back to that. Don't get me wrong. Lisa Hype have lyrics for days. But that, one thing about Spice, her mouth is nasty.
She is.
Nasty. But and I mean nasty in a good way. Like, she can done you in 10. She just done, who is it? Saucy Santana
I seen
and
that. I
Benny.
literally seen that before I got here.
Like, she does
She's like, you stink.
she said, what she said? She said, stuffed turkey.
He said,
roast
she
turkey.
said Lorene or something. What she said? Something.
Latrin or something
Yeah,
like that.
I don't even know what that is, but I know it was disrespectful.
That's all I knew.
Somebody wrote in the comments, I haven't heard that in a while. So, she brought that up
was
from
the
roots.
deepest
That was
crevices. Like, she done, like, big Pepto-Bismol ball. Anytime I see you, I think of diarrhea.
And
that
she
is
also
embedded
said
in my
he
brain.
stink. And no lie, to look at him,
I'm not lying.
he looked like he stink.
I'm
I'm
not
not gonna lie. He looked
Because
funky.
every second the fan is always in his face.
And then
yeah, it's like the clothes be tight. Man, like clothes tight. Like, can't breathe. And it's like, sir, like, as a woman, like,
he should have never. It's like Saucy don't understand. It's one thing to argue with a person that's American,
but it's like,
don't argue with a Jamaican.
You can't do
you
that.
will lose.
You will
every
literally,
time.
and it's like that's why you have to pick and choose your battle. Like, when I go to Jamaica, I'm on my best behavior because I don't want to get done out by nobody.
I'm telling you,
because it's like, and it's instant. It's not even like I'm gonna give you a chance. It's like the only chance you got.
They keep going.
It's easily done. So when it comes to like clashing and all the other stuff, it's just a culture thing. And if you don't understand it, then just stay out. That's just what it is. But what I would say is, in the Black culture, you see how they have verses. We can understand that. But it's kind of hard to market these things especially because how hard Jamaicans, Caribbeans go when it comes to clashing. So it's it's not, you can
you can't. The things Vybz Kartel would say out his mouth,
you can't put that on TV. If somebody's granny can't listen to that. People picnic can't listen to that.
First off, if they had like a person that was interpreting for the blind,
Lord,
the
it would have been like beep 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 beep.
Their hands would be going with the things he would be saying,
because there's no way. Like, it's so vulgar, but it's like addicting though. Like, we love this.
First off, I loved Vybz Kartel because I feel like the most iconic thing he did was when he had that Teacher's Pet show.
That was like
in middle school.
Kiss.
I remember I had a classmate that had the link to get us to watch it. Yeah. Every day we was at we was ready.
Was
like, all right, what happened?
Like,
what happened? What's going on? What's going on?
We
would have to go to a special website,
literally,
and click the link and have to go through mad different things
at
to
like
see the show.
4 o'clock in the morning. Or 12 o'clock in the morning. I'll be up right, and then he got arrested right after that. I said, I know.
That was my show.
It was literally.
I knew the lyrics to the damn intro song and everything.
It was before its time, and I feel like if Vybz Kartel did not go to jail, I mean, everything happens for a reason. Because even when he went to jail, this man was still, of course, making money. Like, and people would say, "Oh, you're being biased and blah blah blah." But I'm like, but really check the fact records. He was in jail for what, 13, 14 years.
And people still rate him.
And who's dominating still? He's dominated in jail.
He came out like
his biggest record, aside from Romp and Shop, is Fever. That one, I think he said gold or platinum. Correct me if I'm wrong. How do you make music in jail and still go platinum or gold in other countries? Let's be for real here. Like, this man is a genius. And I feel like for anybody to discredit him, you're a hater.
Definitely.
You're a hater.
Definitely.
You want to go against him, that's fine. But don't discredit him. He deserves every single flowers he's supposed to get. Him being on the Grammys, I'm not going to lie, I felt like he should have won the Grammys. Just out of respect of everything that he did. I just feel like for me, Bob Marley will always be a legend. We respect Bob Marley. We respect all the other nominees. But I feel like the Bob Marley soundtrack should have never been in that category. Like, they have a soundtrack.
They should have him in his own section. Yeah, because he's already done what he's done.
Yeah, I feel like
because it's insulting to even put him in the same place with other people.
Yeah, it's like he's a legend. Like, there's like, of course you're gonna give it to Bob. Like, why would you not give it to him?
It's insulting if you don't.
Yeah, if you don't. Like, and granted, like, there's other people that's won against him has lost, but it's like the One Love movie. That we knew that was gonna win. That was like one of the biggest movies last year. Like, this is off of Bob's legacy. But for like Shenseea, I would have been happy if Vybz won. I would have been happy if Shenseea won. Because
she's
her last album, Never Gets Late Here, was actually really good. Vybz Kartel, like, let's be for real. Like, it's just the effect of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like when the only
Jamaican artist that got me mad when they started to come into like America and like be a part of those things is Spice. And the only reason why Spice be getting me tight, Love and Hip Hop is pissing me off.
It is.
The way she's behaving on Love and Hip Hop is pissing me off.
And I think You know what it is too? Because I see what the media does and I see what they're doing. And I think Spice is just a person where she don't give a damn who you are, what you are. Like, she's always going to be authentically her.
Mm-hmm.
So to be on Love and Hip Hop, we know that shit is fake. Faker than fake.
But she's too real.
And that's
so
the
it's
problem.
pissing me off because it's like they're editing it a certain way, and
to
they're also
like she's something else.
The Carly Rae situation. Nobody never knew the backstory, so it come like she's being a bully. She wasn't being a bully,
and she's
Carly was being weird, and she was telling her you're being weird. Like, but nobody ever released that part. They want to make it seem like Spice is a problem all the time. Now, granted, looking at it, she do be getting me mad because I'm like, why? She gets me mad because why are you falling for the trap?
Yeah.
You know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Don't fall for it.
But the thing is, again, they don't show us everything. They only show us what they want to show. And what aggravates me is like, I don't like how y'all making my own person, my cultured person, looking like this bully, and y'all know she's not even like
that.
And
I also don't like when Jasmine makes fun of her accent. I think it's insulting.
I don't. I hate when they do that. I feel like that's very disrespectful.
It is. Like, she was like, Mina Kier, and I'm just like,
why are you doing that? It's like you egging her on, and then when she answers you, she's the bully. And that's the thing I don't like. And I stand firm on that because people will sit down and call me a bully. And let me tell you something. I'm not a bully. If you keep poking me, I'm going to answer you.
But that's the thing. People only see the reaction. They don't see what caused it.
Ooh. Girl, let me tell you, I say that all the time. Y'all always hear me scream, but y'all don't see what happened before when I was quiet that whole time. And I feel like that the same thing applies to Spice and a lot of Caribbean people. Like, we're gonna
and because she's Spice and she's spicy, it comes like, you know, if she says something, it's everybody starts backing down.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. I'm like,
because Spice be dead sick. She be like, yo, I would dead ass thump you. Like, I'm not playing.
And the thing is, Love and Hip Hop, they have a culture of, whether it's people want to believe it or not, we know it's scripted. We know that they're trying to look for stories and views. But it's like, for Spice, I feel like she's, like, no offense to them, I feel like she's better than them. I know it sounds really crazy.
She came a long,
but I feel like
way.
She said it yesterday in her live. She came with the fan base. Like, let's be for real.
Part.
America.
I ain't gonna hold you. I started watching again because Spice started watching it because of her.
When she started, when I was in college, I started watching it because of her. I don't watch it anymore because I'm like, whatever. But what people fail to understand, and I think this is just American culture just in general, America be thinking that it's only them. It's not only you. Because if you go to all these countries, you go to Japan, London. You go to UK, like, Vybz Kartel won the MOBO Awards as, like, the icon of the year. America would never. Are you crazy? America don't even like black people. Let's be all the way for real.
Yep.
So it's like, for Vybz, for Spice, like, her being on Love and Hip Hop is like, I get why she went on, because it's to show
she's coming. She wants to. The goal was always for them to branch off and be international.
Exactly.
So it helps them within being international. But like you said, Spice came with her fan base.
She came with a fan base.
We are on there because of
fan base than that. Who still has a bigger fan base than that? Who's on that show? These big man, who's still doing that? Who's still, y'all not even making music. She's still making albums.
She's trying to pull things together,
nominated. Yeah. Like, she literally put the first Love and Hip Hop album together. Love and Hip Hop has been out since I was like what, 12? And there has never, ever, ever been a cast album. Why is that? Why does someone who is an immigrant, not from here, not a part of the culture, comes in and gives you that? Why I didn't do that from a long time ago?
Exactly.
It's time for them to. She need for Lego. Like Cardi B. Cardi B left, won Grammy. She's top of the league. Spice she need for leave. She did what she needed to do, but
it's
now
time to go,
I feel like it's insulting her now. Like, they're disrespecting her, and it's time.
The monkey thing
should
have been it.
That should have been it. That should have. Wipe your hands. Done. Lawsuit. Call it a day. Walk out the door. But I get it. She's using it for whatever she's using it for. But I feel like. You need to wrap it up now.
It's ran its course. Like Puerto Rican Princess moved on.
Yeah. Look at her. Look at Jocelyn Hernandez. I love her new song. She has catapulted. She left, did her own thing. Everybody who left Love and Hip Hop and did their own thing are like 10 times better than they were.
Of course, yeah.
So Spice, you came in good already. You're greater now. You can disappear and be like top tier. You don't need to be on
exactly.
That. I hate it.
Now it's time for us to get a little messy.
Oh.
Let's clock tea. Why does Jamaicans often see themselves as the main character of the Caribbean?
Because we are.
Why? Now, don't get me wrong. I love Jamaica.
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's just I think it's just who we are as people. Like, it's like nobody's better than us. And I can't speak for the entire Jamaica. I can only speak of how I was raised. And I think it's more of a confidence thing.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
Nobody's better than you. And you're not better than nobody else. Even if you want to be, but nobody's better than you. And I think that's really what it comes down to. So you can always feel confident. Like, the insecurities. Let me tell you something. Caribbeans, but Jamaicans, I could speak on them for a fact. They will make sure you feel like the lowest person ever. But it builds up confidence. It builds character. But in the same breath, when you go on the street, nobody can done you.
I feel like Jamaica's the New York of the Caribbean.
Absolutely.
Because even like with me, like I'm from like I said, Virgin Islands, St. Kitts as well. We too damn friendly. I don't like that we're U.S. Virgin Islands. Why are we that?
And you guys are like, outside of the Caribbean, everybody have their own like they niche, but Jamaicans is like, it's like you're trained to be
y'all
better.
Are rebels.
Literally.
And y'all are rebels.
Literally.
Like in the VI, it gets me mad being US VI because it's like everybody looks at us like we're the bougie part of that Caribbean where we're not really Caribbean because we're US.
I want y'all to have your own culture, but I hate that niche of it, like that US or British island. I'm like, y'all have your own culture, so why do y'all need that? Like that's like, we get that. We know they own you. Let's be for real here. But you don't need to add that. Like, like it's, and little people know like the British still have like some type of colonial thing going on with Jamaica. They're not all the way out of the British rule, but they're kind of independent. Well, they are independent actually. So, but I think that's just what it is. But
I feel like every Caribbean island I think it has to do with, like you said, confidence thing. I think that most Caribbean islands are very quiet. We're very like, turn the other cheek. Let's not do that. We're very dotish, the word they like to use. Like, we don't like to be a part of that.
Not a Jamaican.
Because, no lie, I did some research about Caribbean islands. I'm like, yo, out of curiosity, who started carnival culture? Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. But the way they should be hype up, like, yo, we started the carnival. We outside. But they're very quiet.
Trinidad and Jamaica, I wouldn't say they're the same. Like I feel like they're a kind of version of like Jamaican people, but they're still very proud people. Like if I can compare, and every country is proud of themselves, but if I compare the proudness, there's three people that will come up: Jamaicans, Trinidadians, and because I wasn't exposed until I got to college, but Haitians.
Yes.
Haitians.
Very proud.
Like when I see them, I'm just like, yeah, y'all got it.
They don't play.
They don't play. And I think historically, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they said the most rebellious slaves to Haiti or Jamaica. So it
would make sense why the
they're so
is there.
confident, because it's like, you didn't even want me, so now I'm gonna make sure that I'm always gonna be wanted.
Yeah,
I could be wrong about that, but I feel like I'm 90% right about that.
I feel like the VI we sellouts. Like, I'm sorry, the fact that we let them buy us, that's it. Like, we can't. Like I feel like when I'm in a room with other Caribbeans and I say where I'm from, I feel like everybody look at me like, I mean, like,
why? No.
Hello? I'm a part of it.
I'm not gonna lie though.
Because we US, everybody look at us like, girl, you US, be quiet. Like, you got Walmart's out there, T-Mobile's out there. We don't got that.
I feel like for me, like, growing up in the Bronx made me think there was no other island out there. And I'm specifically speaking to Uptown Bronx. First of all, I used to live on by East 180th once upon a time. Till I was like 8 or whatever, and then I moved uptown. But all my family lived uptown, so we were always there like for breaks and all the other stuff. But when I moved uptown and went to Pier 68, and it was just like,
everybody was Jamaican.
You Jamaican. I was like,
but you know what got me mad? Like, I remember, I realized where I was from because of 68. I never forget, we was all in a group. Everybody was like, I'm Jamaican, my mom's Jamaican, my dad's Jamaican. Everybody's talking about it. And I thought I was Jamaican. Like, I legit thought, because my father had an accent. My father had locks. I'm like, oh, I'm Jamaican too. So I go home like, Daddy, which part of Jamaica are we from? Everybody was talking about which part of Jamaica we're from. He was like, I'm not Jamaican. I'm like, Daddy,
so who are you?
He was like, I'm from St. Kitts and Nevis, and your mother's from the Virgin Islands. I said, what is that? So we had a whole history lesson. I learned about things from the Virgin Islands.
That's the thing about Jamaicans. Let me tell you a story. I will never forget this. And my aunt, big up she, because that shit is in my brain to this day. I will never forget the story. I was 7 years old, and there was this girl, again, Caribbeans are all prideful. And I would say the next best after those three is Dominicans, right? Very prideful. I had a friend. She was like my best friend. Her name is Darlene. If she ever watches, shout out to you, girl. And she was always talking about being Dominican. Now, my grandparents and my aunts and them, they came up maybe like, I want to say 8 years prior to that, like right before I was born. And she's just like, I'm Dominican. I'm naive. I'm a kid. I don't know anything. And I'm like, I want to be Dominican. And I went to my grandparents' house, and they're asking me about school.
So we had a similar story.
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to be Dominican. That was the worst thing.
They probably sat you behind down at the table and said, don't move from
my
here
aunt grabbed
until
me.
you learn.
She said, let me tell you something. You are a proud Jamaican girl. Don't you... ever let me hear you say that again. What are you? I was like, I'm Jamaican. And from that day on, I promise you, like that, like I knew I was Jamaican. That was never like I was always been embedded in me. But the difference is that my dad's side of the family is like very, very like boldly strong. My mom's side, they're more pish posh, and I don't care if they say that, if they see this, because they know that. But my dad's side is like raw, vulgar, uncut. Like you all know we Jamaican. My grandfather sounds like he just came off the plane last night. Like let's be for real. But when she said that to me, I promise you, like that fire ignited and it never left. Like anywhere I go, I don't care what anybody tell me. I don't give a damn if I was born here. Let me tell you something. I was growing up asking people if they had marinas. Nobody knows what a marina is. I'm like, it's an undershirt. Like I didn't know that. I thought everybody knew that because I was raised in a Jamaican household. Like everything was Jamaican culture. Like celebrating Halloween was from my mom's side. My dad's side, are you absolutely crazy? The devil? Like that's not happening here. So it was just like, just that alone shows why Jamaicans are so prideful. Like they distill that in your brain from day one.
But that's how my father was for me. Like he was like, you are from the VI. You're from you have St. Kitts and you have the VI, and you're gonna know it. And when I went back to school the next day, I remember saying like, I learned where I'm from. I'm actually not Jamaican. Everybody's like, what are you? I'm like, I'm from the Virgin Islands. They was like, what is that? I'm like,
no, literally, because they don't take. That's nothing. They don't tell you nothing. They be like, you're Jamaican.
And no lie, I'm not gonna lie. Ever since people was kind of like looking at me, they was like, first of all, we don't even know what that is. That's made up. And because everybody kept saying that's made up, to the point where I stopped saying I was from there because I was like shy. Like I'm gonna talk. So after a while, something hit me one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about it. And I love being different. I love because like you said, Uptown is predominantly Jamaican. I don't care. It's predominantly Jamaican. So I started to feel pride. Like yo, I'm different. So I don't care.
Right.
I'm from there, and I could understand patois, and I could speak patois same way, but it's different. Like and even with that, like I would have friends that are American, and if I'm amongst like Jamaicans talking in patois, but obviously I speak different. I remember some of my American friends like, why are you trying to speak Jamaican? They don't understand that there's different type of patois for each country. It's not the same. Like we all talk different.
Like everybody has a certain type of accent.
But you understand each other. Yeah. So, but that's,
I'm not gonna lie. Bajans.
Oh yeah, they speak in script.
I be like, huh?
They speak in script.
They are the Irish of the Caribbean diaspora. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't be. I had a my uncle had like a nurse that was like from Barbados, and when she started talking, I'm like, huh? I'm like, can you slow it down to the third power? Because I'm not understanding you.
They speak in like 4 times
and
fast.
I'm like, I can't get it. But I love the music. But it's like, I be trying.
I was definitely about to ask you, what's the beef with soca and calypso music? Because that's another thing too. With my Jamaican friends, I'm calling y'all out. When we go to parties, I love me some dancehall. I'm in the middle doing all the foolishness too. But when soca come on, I be the only one in the middle for a little bit. My friend told me one time, she was like, I'm sorry, you got to have mad stamina to do soca all day.
No, honestly, I always knew about soca. And, people may hurt me for this, but, like, it just sounds like a bunch of pots and pans.
Because it's still pan.
Yeah.
Still pan
and
is
that's literally what it is.
Yeah,
like, that's all it sounded like to me. And, again, growing up in a Jamaican household, you hear reggae, you hear rocksteady, you hear dancehall. I'm not hearing that.
But also, another thing about, soca and calypso music, they can't curse. So a lot of the songs are like
jovial songs.
You could be like say raunchy things in dancehall, but in soca you can't. So it's kind of like there's a song talking about a fork. He says, what's the song? I can't remember. He was like, how the hell you expect me to eat without a fork? You gotta have sense to understand what he's saying, but he can't say what he want to say.
Exactly.
So it's like people just like, I don't got time for that. Like say what you want to say and be raunchy, but they can't.
With soca music, I used to say like. Even when they speak, it sounds like they're singing a song. Like everything's going up and down, up and down.
It is.
But when I got to college, that's when I realized, okay, there's more than just me out here. Like I was still prideful.
Yeah.
But it was like, that's when I learned about like Haitians. Like I knew nothing about Haiti. Like first of all, I didn't even know Haiti was in the Caribbean.
I'm not gonna lie. I felt the same way. Like Haiti's, I feel like they came through out of nowhere.
And
but you know what you know where that comes from though? A lot of them were very quiet about it. Like even like my sister-in-law, she's Haitian, and she said growing up, it's like for some reason they kind of hid that they hid it because they felt like kind of like the kids kind of grew up quiet about it. Now I'm not gonna lie, I rate them. Their food is good.
Yeah, Haitian food is amazing.
They're popping, but now they're looking at us like y'all didn't even like us. Now I'm like, I ain't gonna lie.
The thing is,
we do move that way.
I'm not gonna say I didn't like them. I just didn't know nothing about them. Like like a particular story. I was in high school, and this girl and this boy, they were like friends, and she would talk about him like, oh, he's Haitian, but he never wanted to say it, and I'm just like. But I never knew what he was.
Like
I thought he was a Black American.
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't Caribbean, but a part of me felt like maybe like his background, like maybe like a grandma. But never said that he was Haitian.
I think the reason that they were very shameful, not shameful, but more quiet about it is because it was a way of protecting themselves.
I think that's
protecting
what it was
themselves,
too.
protecting their parents. They've gone through a lot. Haiti's going through a lot still to this day. So it's like, to protect me and my family, let's just be quiet about it. But now you could tell by the last name alone, the Jean Pierre. Yeah, you could tell.
I think especially in the Bronx too, because I know when I went to college,
a lot of them is in Yonkers though.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think specifically for me, when I went to college, Brooklyn is like a little Caribbean for real. So true. I think it's
like a melting pot.
At least from my knowledge, like it seemed like Haitians were more in Brooklyn, maybe
that's
Queens.
True. That's
but
true.
In Bronx, it wasn't a lot of them. And I can understand that, like, not being that. Because I remember before I moved uptown, I went to school in Parkchester. And it was a lot of, like, Hispanics and, like, Africans and Indians. Not even too much Africans. Like, we were, like, it was, like, the Caribbeans and Africans, like, we were on our little bubble. And I remember, like, telling them I'm Jamaican. He's like, what's that? And I'm like, what you mean, what's that? Like, it was kind of weird. I'm like, girl, we are it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And, like, they would, like, ask me, like, weird questions and stuff like that. And I'm like, you uncultured ass bitches.
I'm not going to hold you. That made me think about when I was in high school. And I never forget, it was a lot of Dominicans in my high school, too. And I remember talking about, it was like, I used to end up clicking up with the Jamaicans. You know, naturally, Caribbeans deal with Caribbeans. So all of us will always be together. I never forget, we was talking about Christmas coming up. And then the Dominicans start talking about, they start speaking in Spanish a little bit. Then one of them turns and he starts laughing. I'm like, what? He said, y'all gonna eat alligator for Christmas. Like, I was like,
they be too blood clot feisty.
Yo.
Me nah lie.
You know, I tried to fight him.
Absolutely, as you should.
I tried to fight him.
As you should.
About alligator. And then I had one of the Spanish people that I was cool with. He taught me some of the Spanish. So I know to this day, I know some curses. And I told him Salambe mi culo. And he was very upset because I don't play that. I don't play that. He means lick my ass. Because who you talking to?
Absolutely.
Like, but even with that, like they even feel like they're separate from us. Like,
absolutely.
I'm sorry, Haitians are Spanish speaking Dominicans. Okay, what nobody say. And
I didn't know they shared an island.
And I've found out, like, throughout the years, one of my grandfather's Dominican.
Really?
So I came to school and I was like, little do y'all know, I'm a part of it too. I just don't know much because I don't know no Spanish. But I know what's up too.
Yeah, no. High school,
they all like to mix, but that's the thing. They all like to mix up and blend up. We're all the same.
We're all the same. But you know what it is? I think it stems from the whole separation. And of course, the colorism.
But that's what they want.
That's what it is. That's
so
what
how about we raise the newer generation to not follow that? Let's do better.
And I follow that. I tell a lot of people this, like, despite me being light, and this is controversial, I don't think like that. I don't think that because I'm light, I'm better than anybody. Because last time I checked, I'm still black.
Exactly.
When I went upstate,
we're going to be on the boat together.
Let me tell you something. They didn't look at me as, oh, you're a light-skinned black girl. They said, you're a nigger. I got called nigger more times than I ever did in my life when I was up there. And I don't use, like, if you know me so well, I don't use that complexion thing. I don't see the I do see why people benefit off of it. I do see the issues of it. I do see how people think that they're better than one another. But for me, it's like, bitch, we still black.
But not to be speaking about, like, colors and things like that, people's shades and things like that. When did bleaching become a thing in, like, the Caribbean culture? Because not only Jamaicans, it's Haitians, it's always been there. Africans, it's Virgin Islanders. All of us do it.
I hate it. Let me tell you, I was saying this in my close friends. I hate that.
I wonder where it comes from.
Because I really have to ask some women, and this is a real question. When you see a man with the blackest knuckles of life and them face pink like whoa, what said? Yeah, I eat that. I'm a man that. What about him screams that? Because he literally has no pigment, miss. My thing is, when it comes to bleaching, you will never look like a light-skinned person.
But what gets me mad is that they have created their own shade of color.
Literally.
I don't even know. You're not pink. You're not pink. White. You're not brown.
You're just bleacho. Like, that's it. And I don't see it.
And then what's crazy is that they don't realize that after a while, when you do it too much, your skin starts to get literally, like, patchy. Burn. Like, so you have to wear makeup to cover that. So now you're wearing makeup on top of the bleach. Your knuckles is raw.
I hate it.
And then I also wonder, if you bleach, if you're the mother and you bleach, you're the father, you bleach. When your baby come out brown, what you gonna do? Bleach the baby too?
And that's the thing, like,
are you going to bleach your baby?
What example are you setting for your child? Like, what are you showing your child? You get what I'm saying?
It's like a self-hate.
It really is. It really is. You don't understand. I hate it so bad. I'll never forget, I was coming from Jamaica recently, and I seen a guy, like, he was sitting next to me, and I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, yo, bro, your hands are dark, but your face is pink. And I'm just like, I don't know if it's like a self-hate. I don't know what it is, but and you know what's so crazy? Those who bleach, they have the smoothest skin, the cleanest prior to bleaching. They have like the smoothest complexion, like velvet.
I think it comes from it's definitely a mental health issue for me. I think it's a mental health issue. It's like self-hate. It comes from trauma. Like something happened in your childhood or in your life that you started to hate your skin.
It's slavery. That's all it is, because if the closer you are to white, the more
cleanliness, like cleanliness is godliness. So they view some of them, but you ever hear them say you're clean, like they have clean, they look at it as clean
chrome
skin.
White. I said, what about that? It's chrome. It's pink.
No,
it's ugly.
It looks
you
raw.
look like flesh. You look like you're one more bleaching, two flesh-eating diseases. Yeah. Like you're ruining your body. Like you're literally ruining your body. And it's like, for me, like I said, some people look at me like, oh, you're light, you get it like that. Bro, let me tell you something. Never in a day have I ever said, you know what, I'm light, I'm gonna get this better than nobody. Because I don't think like that.
We're all niggers.
Like we're all niggers. Like, I don't think you understand. When I went upstate, like they were looking at me and said, you nigger. Mm-hmm. So either if I'm light or if I'm black, whether I was in the house or in the field, I'm still a nigger. Mm-hmm. That's really what it comes down to. And that's just my mindset. And I'm gonna raise my kid the same exact way. He's just as light as me, but I'm gonna tell him every single day, you a black boy.
Exactly.
You're not a light-skinned black boy. You're not a dark-skinned black boy. You are a black boy. And when you get older, you're gonna be a black man. Mm-hmm. You're always gonna be black. Don't ever think, even when I have kids, even if I have more kids, and one of my children comes out dark, you still a beautiful black girl.
Exactly.
That's never gonna change. Are you crazy?
But speaking of motherhood and having a child, do you think is it important for you to pass down your knowledge on your island and the culture to your child?
Absolutely. Like, you got to know where you come from. Mm-hmm. Like, don't ever let nobody discredit you. Like, just the story of me wanting to be Dominican because I was being naive as a kid. The teachable moment was my aunt telling me that. But my kid knows, like, he's half Jamaican and he's half Guyanese. He knows his culture. Like, he knows he's Jamaican. Like, I got a tattoo on my wrist of Jamaica. And he knows this is Jamaica. Good. Like, he's very aware of that. Like, and he's only 4. But it's like, you got to teach them from young. And I feel like just in Caribbean households, they teach you pride. They teach you respect. They teach you about your culture from young. Yeah. Because you don't want to grow up and shy away from that. Yeah. You don't want to grow up and be like, oh, like, I'm
ashamed
not proud
where you
to
come
be.
From,
no, don't ever be like that. Like, just an example of like what we saying, like kids who are Haitian in the Bronx never wanting to tell people that. Like, why would you want to be ashamed of that? I don't care if people make fun of you. One thing I would say, like the African community, they never shied away from being African. No matter how much people dun them out, bun them out, they never said I'm not African.
True. And now look, everybody up under them now.
Everybody want to be friend
everybody
with
up under them now.
After y'all was dragging them to the ground.
Yeah. Like, they stood 10 toes on who they are.
They never changed. They never changed. No matter how much people didn't like them or they made fun of them. And that's how everybody should be. Exactly. Always be proud of where you're at. Never be ashamed.
I feel the same way. That's how I am with my daughters. My daughter's father's Jamaican. He's coolly Jamaican and you know, I'm from the Virgin Islands. I'm not gonna lie, it's a battle we go through now because my daughters are getting older and they're starting to realize a lot of Jamaicans over here. So my daughters be like, I'm Jamaican. I'm like, you're not only Jamaican, little lady.
Forget,
you're from the Virgin Islands too.
Exactly.
You're not only Jamaican.
Don't ever forget
and now
that.
they're starting to learn about my daughter. She's in middle school now. She's starting to learn about being coolie and things like that. I'm like, look, you are black. Like, I understand you have Indian and you have the pretty hair, but you are black.
You're black.
Don't feel like you're superior to anyone because you have pretty hair.
Because that's what they do to you.
And I even taught her, there's no such thing as pretty hair.
No.
Hair is hair.
Hair is freaking hair.
Hair is hair.
Whether it's a coiled or nappy or straight and silky, it's still your hair.
Exactly.
It don't matter whose hair it is.
So I'll be doing the bantu knots and the curl outs and the twist outs and we do it all because you're gonna love yourself and you're gonna love where you come from on both sides.
Absolutely. And that's the same thing with my son. Like his grandfather, the Guyanese one, he don't play that. When we go over there, Lord, I just be sitting there like, all right, guys, how y'all doing? I be feeling like outside. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so weird. Because I'm so used to being the dominant culture in the room, being in another room where the other culture is dominant. Like, it's like, damn. Like, okay, the silence is loud in here.
Well, another thing I want to talk about too is that I've noticed this because it even happens to me, even though it's U.S. Virgin Islands. When I go to the Caribbean, my cousins that's born there, they, like, I never forget, I went there for my cousin's wedding, and I was talking to my other cousin, and I'm talking to him like how, you know, patois or whatever. He's like, I didn't know you could speak like us. And I'm like, why wouldn't I? He was like, because you know you're from foreign. I'm like, why do people that are born in America or brought up here early and young look that different compared to the ones that's born there?
Girl,
why is that a thing?
Don't get me started on that. Like, because I have aunts to this day that tells me that I'm not Jamaican. And I will look them dead in their eyes and say, I'm a Jamaican girl, whether you like it or not. That's another thing that I really hate. I don't tell my son that he is American. You
My
are
daughters
Jamaican.
wouldn't even know they was American if it was
like, no, I don't tell my son that. And that's the thing that buns me. Like, what you want us to not be ashamed of where we come from, but we're not allowed to say we're not from there.
Exactly.
I was not born there, but I was raised here with the same cultural values.
I don't even say that I was born here no more. We're not about to argue over that.
I don't care, because you're not going to tell me nothing.
I be like, I was born down the hospital and down the road from my grandma's house.
Nope. I tell them exactly. Like, I was born in Jacoby Hospital in the Bronx, but I'm Jamaican. No matter which way you want to slice it or dice it, like my family was literally raised here. Like it's only a select few of us, like this generation, that was born here. Yeah. But the thing is that this is what I had a conversation with somebody. They feel like because we didn't grow on those tough roads or those tough paths of life in Jamaica, we don't have the right to say that we're Jamaican.
I think, like, to me, I feel like it comes from a place of, and I don't want to use this word because it'll be harsh, but it's reality. It comes from jealousy. Like, to some degree, it's like you're jealous of the fact that they feel like we have more opportunity because we're here. And granted, we do have more opportunity. That's 100%.
But we still struggled.
Our parents had to cross over to get here. They had to go through whatever they had to go through to come here to build a better life for us. So if they did it, your parents could have done it too. And you can't wrong us because our parents made the way for us to be here.
And that's my thing. Like, when I have these conversations with like native Jamaicans who were born there, and some of them, like the ones that come up here, they kind of understand why. It's like, you don't understand. My family left there and came up here into a whole new world.
And they had to fight to
stay. And really, there was no teaching. Nobody raised them to be American or understand American life. They had to learn things the hard way. So of course, naturally, they're gonna raise their children in the American way, in the Jamaican way. Yeah. We picked up these American habits based off of outside life. True. Yeah. I did not live the life you lived. I didn't live the struggle you lived, but you don't know what I've been through up here.
But I'm not gonna lie, I also feel like some of the stories are exaggerated. Yeah. I'm gonna be real. I never forget hearing stories of my dad saying he had to walk from there to yonder to get to school. And when I actually seen the walk, I'm like, Daddy, to the point where one time I made a joke to my dad. I said, Daddy, how big was your camel that you rode to school? Because you act as if you rode a camel, swam across the ocean, and walked and went through a couple seas to get to school. And no, you did not. It's not that deep. But I guess it's their way of just making us know, like, yo, we fought to get here. Even though it's U.S. Virgin Islands, my father still had to fight to go from St. Kitts to the VI to here. It was a fight. So I completely understand.
Nah, like for me, like I said, the conversations I had with other people, and like it be getting heated because I be standing 10 toes down. Like, don't think that because I was born here. Like, yes, I did, and this is coming from a deep place. I just had this conversation. Yes, I was born here. Yes, I have a lot of opportunities. Yes, I got things that you may not have gotten down there. But let me tell you something. It was not easy. Nope. The thing is that when you're in Jamaica, you are in Jamaica. When you're in America, I have to battle between being American and being Jamaican. I have to battle between those two cultures. You don't understand how it feels when people are making fun of your name because they can't pronounce it properly. When in Jamaica, they could say it with their eyes closed. Exactly. You don't understand when I'm trying to say certain things and I say it in a weird way and people are making fun of you, where if I'm in Jamaica, nobody's not making fun of me. And let's
be real, it's different when you're Black American and when you're Caribbean.
Exactly.
Black Caribbean. It's a
whole different story.
Different battle.
You get bullied about certain things.
Exactly.
Like, I can only speak on me. My grandparents was not buying $1,000 anything. You crazy? They saving their money to go send that barrel down. So when we go down
when
there,
the kids come up, I never forget there was and that's one of my best friends. Her name is Tashika. When she came up from Jamaica, she's very, very tall. So her clothes like kind of would like fit high water. They'll make fun of her, and it's like, yo, like. You cannot do that. You don't know what they had to go through to come up here. They don't know what their parents had to go through for them to be here. Like, you don't know.
And that's why I say, like, with like the Caribbeans, with the Africans, like, I do feel like the African culture got it worse just because of the history of everything. Yeah, and I feel like second after that was Caribbean people. Yeah. But, certain Caribbean things were cool, so people like, oh yeah, like Bob Marley, smoking weed, you know what I'm saying? Like little things like that. Yeah. But that don't ever forget that we also had to go through the same bullshit as well. I will never live the life of a Jamaican person born and raised there, but you probably don't even understand half of the stuff I've been through. And just because, and I also blame.
And when they come up here, they be seeing it.
I blame
They be
the
seeing
ones
it.
who go back down there and they floss and they put on this $1,000 this and $1,000 that,
they create
and they
a
make
high
it look
expectation.
good.
Yeah.
Like you wasn't just wiping ass as a CNA last week, or you wasn't
It's
wiping
true.
floors.
It's
Like
true.
let's be for real.
It's true.
I hate that. I don't go to Jamaica thinking I'm rich or whatever. Yeah, my currency's higher, but bitch, my bills is higher. Like you're not paying the rent that I pay.
Yeah.
You're not paying the bills that I pay.
Yeah.
I can't go to a beach when I'm good and ready. I have to struggle.
There is no beach.
There's no beach. I literally come here. I said when a plane drop at JFK, depression lick me same way.
Yeah.
Same friggin' way.
Yeah.
When I go to Jamaica, it's like bills, stress. That don't even matter to me.
I don't know. They have like this thing in their head where they feel like we up here just fanning ourselves like
oh my God, I'm living the fabulous life. Stop watch
we
TV.
be struggling. Eggs is $12.
Like, stop watch TV. TV's a liar.
It is.
TV's not the truth.
But with that being said, how can we all come and unite as Caribbeans? All
Girl.
from different.
I don't know. I don't have that answer today. I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
I would say in the last 10 to 15 years it has gotten better.
Yeah.
In terms of the cultures coming more across.
True.
Because once upon a time, again, like you said with the soca thing, nobody was singing soca in my house.
Mm-hmm.
The most we know was 10, 5 cents, $10, and that's like the most generic one.
Yeah.
Whereas when I got to college, I started to learn more about different cultures. Like I said, Haiti, I didn't know nothing about Haiti, but I learned about Haitian music. I learned about compa, if I pronounced it wrong, my bad.
Yeah.
Like I learned about different cultures outside of Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Jamaica.
I think it's our generation that's really trying
I think so too.
blend everything.
We really are, because if you look at, for example, Vybz Kartel, he's putting all his liquor into different Caribbean cultures. Whereas like maybe once upon a time ago, I don't know if that would have ever happened.
Yeah.
Because again, if we're only focused on one culture, how do we know anything else?
I think we're stronger together, and we do need to start. We could. Everybody is room for all of us.
It literally
is
is
room for all of us.
I think this is never going to change. Jamaicans are always going to feel like they're dominant. That's never going to change.
They
Like
always gonna feel
I
that
think
way.
it's always going to be that. But I think now,
and I'm always love being different.
yeah, it's like, and it's okay. Like I think we're at a point where now the Caribbean culture is starting to mesh as one another. Like Lady Lava and I think Vybz Kartel had met up. Spice has a song with her, and she's like dominating. What I mean, dominating Trinidad. Like her force is crazy. And I think like now is like better because now we hear like there's a carnival. I think carnival always been in Jamaica, but like soca, you can hear it on the DJs.
Carnival is soca.
Yeah,
Carnival is soca.
You can hear it now.
Yeah.
Like they're more.
Yeah.
It's more pronounced. It's more out there, and I think now, it's getting better. I think it's getting better.
It definitely is, and we need to just make sure we instill that in our children.
Yeah.
To love on each other, no matter where you come from.
My kid
be
is Jamaican
prideful
and
of where
Guyanese,
you
so
come from.
He got no choice.
My kids are gonna be happy to be from both places and enjoy themselves same way.
Just being Caribbean overall, and that's the thing. Like even with my Wagwan dance hall, it wasn't just about dance hall. It was about majority dance hall, but it was about the Caribbean, and that's what I wanted to do. Like pull the Caribbean together, like the American Caribbean. Like come here, we can listen. You might hear more Jamaican, but I'm gonna teach you about everything else that at least from my knowledge, I'm not gonna discredit anything, but. That's what we need more is more unity. Once we get more unity, it'll be more involved.
It'll be a force.
Hell yeah.
We have to come together.
Everybody loves the Caribbean, but if we all come together as one, oh yeah, no, it's gonna be crazy. It is crazy. It's getting crazy.
Caribbean Black people come together,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yo, it's
a
over.
Wrap.
It's over.
You will never hear the end of it.
Yep. And we all gonna be mad prideful about it too.
Literally,
they're gonna get sick of us.
I think collectively, again, because we live in America, America is very one-sided. They think they're the best. They think they're everything. And I'm saying they because I'm not.
We're trash.
Yeah.
We're trash.
Absolutely. Let's be for real here. But I think what we have to understand is that there's more to the world than just America.
But my thing is, what culture does America have? Okay,
because
I believe that
last
there.
time I checked,
I believe that there.
Everybody migrated here.
I believe that there.
Like, let's be for real here. Everywhere else is like the UK. They big like I said, Vybz Kartel won a whole icon award there. You go to Japan, they have a whole dance hall section. You go to like Switzerland, you go to like Ireland, you go to all these places. They big up the Caribbean. They respect the Caribbean. Like they bow. I don't want to say bow down to us, but like they give us our credit. America just has a strong hold, and I think as a Caribbean, we need to stop putting America as the front holder of everything because there's more money. And also, to be made.
When we say we're gonna go back to our back home and do something, let's actually go back home and do something.
Yeah,
that too, because we are neglecting our home for America when America don't give a damn about us.
And I think that's what it is when a lot of people decide to travel abroad, they are trying to send back money home or send back things home to make it better. And it's like, for me as a person living here and born here, I don't even want to be here. I don't want to live here.
We don't.
I would rather live there. But I get it because the economy is not as strong. But little do they know.
But what the plan was, which I'm assuming this is for all Caribbeans, was to come up here and make a life and go back.
Yeah.
But why are we not sticking with that?
But you know what? And I can only speak on what I've seen. Sometimes going back is hard because there's bad mind people out there.
True.
Despite me loving Jamaican culture, some people are truly bad mind and they don't want to see you prosper. There's land wars. There's issues with who brought this and who don't brought that, or you think you better than anybody. And again, those Caribbean people who go back down there with this Balenciaga, which tends to be fake half of the time, and DH all these things, and you make it seem like you have it, and it's like you know we don't live like that.
Yeah.
You know you don't, and it's okay. You want to look good and see that, I'm making it, I'm doing something, but damn well you are struggling. You barely bought this plane ticket.
So we just need to be honest with each other. Yeah. Be honest, be open,
and be transparent. Social media allows that.
Social media is not real.
Yeah.
Social media is not real. But, that was our final question, but I like to close out my podcast with affirmations, and I'm definitely bringing you back. We're going to have some more things to talk about. But I'm going to give out 3 affirmations for people within the Caribbean, and just to go with the topic of what we spoke about. First one is, I celebrate the vibrant tapestry of Caribbean culture and honor and traditions. I stand together with my Caribbean community, supporting one another through our journeys. And the last one is, I embrace unity and collaboration, knowing that we are stronger together as a Caribbean family. That's the 3. You guys could say it. We're going to go with that. And also, the final thing I like to do is give a gift. I don't know. And I wrote something for you. I want to gift you a crown. And the crown is going to symbolize giving you your flowers while you're here. You have an incredible talent for keeping us non-Jamaicans and the Americans informed about all the news, drama, amazing things happening back in Jamaica and other Caribbean cultures as well. And your dedication to representing our culture and raising your son to do the same is truly inspiring. And I wish you nothing but greatness in your future and can't wait to see your platform continue to thrive and achieve other great things. And thank you for being on Pass Down Your Crown.
Well, thank you so much.
So I'll give this to you at the end.
But thank you. I really enjoy this. I've never been on the other end. I've always been the person doing the interviews or
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Show. But this was like, wow, like y'all liking me, like big up me, boy. But this was great though. Like,
and I think we did something. Even if it was we did something, we bridged that gap.
No, for real, yeah. Like we need to do this more often. Like we need to have this
conversations
and just like Caribbean women. Because I'm tired of seeing the men. I like men. I have a boyfriend, but it's good to see like Caribbean women coming together and not with like the bagga drama nonsense. Like nobody not really into that. Like once we come together,
we're stronger together.
Like we're already Black, but we're Caribbean too.
And be real, the women, we hold the power. If we come together, we can turn.
If women
we
just
are the neck. The man's the head. We have to come together to be the neck.
Exactly. Like
and we'll be stronger together.
We literally put it together. But
exactly,
it was great. This is beautiful. I love this.
Glad you enjoyed it. And of course, you're welcome to come back. We're going to have more. There's always something to talk about in the Caribbean.
Literally.
You know
every
that.
Day.
You know that. Well, again, this is Pass Down Your Crown podcast. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment underneath. Click the bell for notifications so you could get all the new episodes, all the new drops, things like that. Follow me on my personal page. I am Patty J. My Instagram for Pass Down Your Crown is Pass Down Your Crown. And again, until next time, bye.
That's so